Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Today is the 15th of July. Wanted to give you guys a little update about what's going on. I know many of you were following my morning videos. The morning videos are still being produced. They're just being produced for subscribers. So if you haven't checked out my website, come on over here to mint.com. Check out my website, check out what I do. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about really what I try to do with my subscribers and try to show them how to uh, go ahead and create great success. So now I've built a little spreadsheet that should help you guys understand what I do. Really, what I'm trying to do is help you guys target 25 to 45% return on investment or more every 20 to 30 days. Now, it's up to you. I have the algos running. I deliver solutions. I deliver updates. I delivered this morning. I delivered a morning video saying that, I drew this big black bar saying we could get a breakdown in the move. This would be a tremendous breakdown. I think we could be looking at a move out further into consolidation and a bigger breakdown, but we'll see how it plays out. But the long and short of it is, you don't need to be a super trader. You don't need to watch 30-second or 1 minute charts to try to pinpoint moves every 10 seconds or every 3 minutes, in my opinion. What you need to do is to be able to follow the market trends, pick triggers that are effective, and really execute trades that work in favor of the 2, 3, 5, 10 day type price moves. You see here we get these pullbacks, we get these trends. This is the S&P. You don't really need to stay glued to your computer for 9 hours a day trying to pick apart these little intraday moves. You can if you want to, but that's really kind of not my style. Now I've been able with my paper trading account showing clients, I've been able to show them, fairly good success. This is the paper trading account. These are the examples. If you can make 40% every 20 days, you can turn $1,000 into 100 and plus $1,000 by the end of the year. If you can do it at 50%, you can take $1,000 and you can turn it into 200, 300, $400,000 by the end of a year. I don't think that's crazy impossible to do. 40, 50% return on investment every 20 days. I believe almost anybody could do that if they learn, they gain the right skills, have good triggers. And it really comes down to you need to stick to a plan. And what I try to do is I try to teach you to trade only 1/3 of your account at any given time, and I have basically a set of rules in place that teach you how to trade effectively. And if something happens and it doesn't go the way you want to, you're supposed to stop trading, reevaluate what you're doing, and take a look at what's going on. So now, basically this is how I started. $1,000 first week or first 20 days, I did 58%. Second 20 days, I was up 226%. It's not bad. Then I ran into right around February. Believe it or not, my brother went in for surgery, for knee surgery, and I told everyone I didn't know what the next couple of weeks were going to look like. And sure enough, everything went crazy. I left a couple of trades on. I tried to profit from them, but you can see I went from this $3,200 level down to 29, up to 42, down to 32, up to 96. Was actually higher at one point here, down to 67, up to 7,007, up to 85, 86, and as of July 14th, we are currently sitting at about $10,000. That was yesterday. Um, and what I want you to see here is that we are working towards an average of about 30% a month. This was the last update here as of the 11th. We were a little off this level as of yesterday. The account closed at $10,300. So what I'm doing is I'm playing within the margin of error, and I'm trying to grow the account to show people how to trade very efficiently. Now, The spreadsheet I created is this one, and it's a fairly simple little spreadsheet. It starts with $1,000, and it sets a 33% target, or we set this to 30. And what it does is it randomizes. So what we're doing here is we're randomizing so this is basically, let's call it thrust or strength, and this is final value. So what happens here is we're using the indicator here to identify an up or down direction. We're identifying a potential boost mode, meaning do we get into anything that's considered a big boost? You see here, none of these numbers are greater than 1, so no, we don't really have a boost. Actually, they don't go greater than 1. They go from 0 to 1.0 total. Then the direction tells us the direction of our gain. You see on a negative move here, we can turn around and see that the directional trend is, potentially working against us, okay? And you can see here how this works. We go up, we go down. This is to simulate good months from bad months. So, or good periods from bad periods. Here we had a little bit less than expected. Here we had a little more than expected. Here we had a pretty much flat month. This was a very flat month, actually went down. And if I just reset this value, you can see again where we're at. So now here you're looking at the quarterly returns. Quarter 1, 2, 3, that's 3 months in, 6 months in, 9 months in, 12 months in, and then you have 15, and then you have 18, and then you have 21, and then you have 24. So this is really, year 1, and this is year 2. Okay, so what this is designed to do is show you that as a trader, if you target this, if you can meet that 30% a year, this is what, or every period, this is what you'll end up with right over here. $1,000 will turn into 55 to $65,000 at the end of a year. Roughly 260 trading days, 280 trading days in a year. So understand that you could move quite excessively up your account. Now, if you then start with $1,000 level and try to raise the rate, which is right here, say year number 2, you end up with 35 grand. If you do the same numbers, you could turn around and turn that from $1,000 into over $1 million in basically 2 years. I'm saying that's not impossible. I'm saying you could do that. Now, with my randomized model here, there's some areas where we get some decent returns, but you can see here with the randomized model, it's designed to be a little bit more realistic. So if I hit a refresh, so there's an example where we turn $1,000 into 11,000 or 9,600, which I've already done in 6 months on my own in the first year. And so I think anybody can do this if you want to. And if you turn around and here is a more reasonable example, you turn $1,200 or $1,000 into 3,400. That's really not doing well. That's not performing at more than like 8% a year. Maybe a little more, 200% a year here, and then this would be a 400% a year here. That's still pretty good. 200%, 400% on some money, that's not bad. If you're learning to trade and you can do that, that's not bad. Now, what we're looking for is something more successful. Again, if you can figure out 15%, you can turn 1,000 into 8,000. That's what we were seeing earlier. If you can go to 20% on average, if you can maintain that, you'll turn $1,000 into about 12,000. If you can do 30%, you'll turn 1,000 into about 40, 50,000. If you can do 40%, you'll turn 1,000 into about 100,000, 80 to 100,000. And you can do it. I'm telling you, you guys can do it. So now, as we look through these examples, I keep hitting refresh, looking for a decent example. Probably won't show it to me. Well, there's a decent example. So you started out, you learned, you doubled your money, you doubled your money, you doubled your money. You had a little flat period here. These are quarters. These are not every 20, 30 days. These are every 90 days. Then you doubled your money. You grew about 20%. You almost doubled your money, probably 75, 80%. And then you doubled your money. Hey, not bad. You know, not bad. And again, this is trading 3 to 5 times a week. It's really not that hard. So let me show you over here. I started out with this screen, and what this is showing you is some recent trade triggers. XOP was on a 60-minute on my TTScanner list, showed a new short trigger with a minus 46 thrust. It was a minus 4 in a pullback. This is telling you that we've seen a little bit of an upward pullback. I took this trade in XOP, sorry, right here. Minus 73 and a minus 4 with a bit of a downward trend. I took this trade. I like this trade. I like the fact that oil was potentially going to be moving downward. I also like that ARKK Innovation was moving downward with a new trigger with 104 minus 104 thrust level. That's a big downward thrust level. Okay. So that was over here at, 11 o'clock this morning, which is, 8 o'clock my time, California. We come back over here. We take a look at XOP. Boom. Tanked. Let's go to hourly so you can see it. Just tanked. Nice solid breakdown. Looking to continue. How much more to the downside do we have? Well, we don't know, but we have targets here. You can see the XOP target is 129.11 and 127.93. So we are already at 129.29, just off of that lower target here, getting ready to hit the first target. And now let's look at ARKK. Excuse me, got a tickle in my throat. Breaking down, not quite as hard. Um, and now ARKK was a short trigger at 72.48, 71.98 on the downside with a minus 104 in a little bit of an uptrend with a minus 3 downward ranking. Notice the profit factor and the win rate are pretty high, whereas this one is XOP is okay. You definitely want to have like a profit factor and a win rate up in these 1 and 2 areas. That means you have the best chances of success based on this algo. But again, broke down, trending downward. There's hourly, hasn't really broke down yet. SPY is moving downward. So we come back over the SPY. We're moving downward here and looking to break down. If I were to tell you what we've got to break down below, we really need to kind of get below this lower channel right over in here. 617 and then likely down here 603. So we have 603 and 617. And I would tell you that those are the areas I think the market is looking for. Now, we had a trigger yesterday. Let me come over here and find it. It was kind of an interesting trigger. There's the ARKB. Yesterday's trigger on a 5-minute setup. I took this trade yesterday, and I figured that Bitcoin had rallied, and I took an opportunity to move to see Bitcoin kind of collapse downward. And what I wanted you to pay attention to was we had a good breakdown yesterday, a gap down this morning. Bitcoin is down 2,300, moving slightly to the downside, but I really think that we're going to try to come back down here and fill this gapping range. and potentially come down and fill this capping range, meaning that we could see Bitcoin kind of wipe out all of this rally in a staged move downward back into this area. So I've already pulled profit from this trade. To be honest with you, it was too good to pass up. This morning, this trade, it was a short-term trade, expired on Friday, the 18th, put options. I was already up over 150% this morning. I just booked it. I'm leaving one runner right now, see what happens. But there was another one. Let me see if I can find it. XAR, that was a great trade as well. I got out of it this morning. XAR has been at the top of my list. Okay, it has been at the top of my ranking system as the strongest performing stock in the primary sectors. We had a long trigger here. This is daily. We had 26%. We were up 4, but what triggered it was this one, the 15-minute brand new long trigger with a 67 thrust, brand new trigger on the strongest performing symbol that was in my main list that members get, and we had a good solid ranking of 4, so I took it. Okay, now there was another one that I'm looking for. I might have saved it in a different location. I'll just show it to you real quick. So, no, get rid of that. So, QTech, okay. Um, no, this is not it. One second. Find my phone. Here it is. Oh, QID. QID, that's what I was thinking. So now QID works kind of like the VIX. Okay, it's an invert, ultra short QQQ index. This is 1 hour. Let's go to daily. This is something you don't want to play with if you don't know kind of what you're doing. But when we get into breakdown trends, I'm going to come back over here, put the QQQ up. Okay, let's not do that. And come here and QQQ. And this is 1 day. This is 1 day. Now, these are some of the proprietary tools that I offer subscribers. It's called the Big Mouth system. I'll get rid of these tools real quick. So you can see that when we get into these big breakdowns, try to spread this out for you. When we get into these breakdown trends in the QQQ, we get these nice solid rallies in QID. So this is a great way for you to trade opposite of the markets. Okay, if you think you're going to get a breakdown and you want to kind of hedge, you can come in and you can pick some pretty cheap options, call options in this case, in QID, and even little bumps can give you a nice little 6 to 10% rally. And you see here, these little bumps, rotation, 11%, not bad. Okay, QID is down at these extreme lows. We've got that topping pattern setting up here. I took a chance today on this trade. I decided, you know what? I've got a couple $100. I'm going to hedge. And what I did on this, it's really quite simple. Really quite simple in the sense that, trying to get to it right now, I picked up 2 QID call trades going all the way out to October 17th. That's like 95 days out. And they were cheap. They were like $130 each. That's total cost. So that's about 13 bucks total. So in my opinion, $1.30. I'm sorry, $1.30. And in my opinion, this is an excellent hedge. I can trade all I want. I have this 90-day plus option for QID In case the market breaks down, I am hedged. If it does break down, I could see who knows, 40, 50, 200, 300, 900% gain on this little trade, and I can throw a couple of shorter term trades at it if I want. And again, this is, yep, there's my other server. Yep, nice long trade in Bitcoin right now. See how that goes. But it's all about over here, really is all about helping you become a trader. So when you join mint.com expert growth, you get my morning videos, you get access to the hot list, and we'll come back over here. We'll take a look at the hot list real quick, see what's going on. These updated just a couple of minutes ago. GDX, GNR, XOP short. XOPs hit the first target. I've already pulled out of it. It was a good trade. QTech, new long. Okay, let's go take a look at QTech. That's the one I was looking at. Now, it's got a 60 on thrust. It's got a 4 in direction, and it's in a bit of a pullback. So let's go take a look at QTech real quick. And QTech is investment series QQQ Trust. So we'll leave the QQQ here. Rolling downward, rolling into a breakdown, potential breakdown pattern. We come back over here, take a look at the setup. It is a new long trade, and we are looking at some upward strength. I would skip this USRT, the new short trade. I do like these breakdowns. USRT is REITs. Yeah, REITs have really been, say XRT, I think is, or XLRE. See how we're getting this big breakdown? And if you look at this daily, we've been in this lower channel. So you can see right here, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. Here we are stalling off of that lower channel. We come down. If we get some tightness, which I think inflation is going to cause the Fed to potentially raise rates, you know, we're looking at a potential move here of maybe 5 to 10% to the downside. And again, same basic setup is happening right over here, guys. So coming right across here, across these highs. And so what would cause the real estate market to collapse? Well, if inflation were to continue to rally upward, hint, hint, tariffs, and increase costs, Fed may have to push interest rates a little higher. So this looks like a pretty good trade. Now, which one would I trade, XLRE or USRT? Either one is acceptable. Let me go check the options price real quick on my phone. And XLRE, let's go for basically 129 days out. Put options with a price at 41 are $1.80, sorry, $1.40. So for 140 bucks, I can get carry out through the rest of the year in case the market breaks down. If I wanted to get something shorter term, 31 day option is 60 cents. So that means for 60 bucks for the next 30 days, I can check out a potential breakdown here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I will go ahead and buy two $41 puts. Going to cost me about 100 bucks. 120 bucks. And for the heck of it, I will, go back. I will come in here and I will USRT. Now these are basically the same trade. Let me just see what the options are. 31 day option at 56. Now these are $200 basically. They're $2 options. So I'm doing better off trading you XLRE. And what I will do is I'll go back to XLRE. Go back into the options setup. And I will go to the $129 options and I will pick up two of those for basically 150, well, about 150 bucks each. So now this protects me against a major breakdown in the market priced at where we're at right now. So I got two XLRE for $41 puts expiring August 15th for 65 bucks each. And I got two more expiring November 21st at $145 roughly each. Okay, now this is again, it's not rocket science, okay? You follow the triggers, you follow what's going on over here. I like the 60-minute and the daily results. Follow these triggers, look for confirmation. RWX was the trade I took yesterday that really had me interested because we have this breakdown in Wilshire real estate. But again, daily is a little slower. Here's the QID short. This is a trade that I took. I made some money on, but I got out of it. I think now is the time to protect against the market going down. And then, like I said, if you really want to get into intraday trades, come down here, watch the 5-minute or the 15-minute. So you can see right here, you get used to these. ARKB's going up right now on a 5-minute basis. IBT is going up. XLY is going down. QQQ, new short trigger, 5-minute. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the QQQ to start to move down. There's our QQQ. We'll come down here to 5-minute. I think we're looking at a potential rollover breakdown. And 5-minute, we'll set this up to NQ. QQQ is breaking down, NQ is not. Interesting. Okay, so come back to my phone, take a look at the QQQ. Let's look at a short-term option. 0-day is, I can get it for 50 bucks. Or I can wait. 6-day options, 300 bucks. Expiring Friday is 280. Well, what do I want to do? Do I want to try to catch this breakdown mode? Let's take a look at some of the advanced triggers. So take a look at the big mouth. We have a new sell trigger here. Could be interesting. Markets are weak. $5.58. All right, I'll throw one put till Friday. See what happens. Okay, guys. So again, I want to just show you that this is all possible. If you want to learn how to do this, come over, take a little time, invest in yourself. I'm working on a brand new book. There's a ton of resources available for you in here in Expert Growth. You have the Discord channel, you have the Gunslinger tools, you have all of my updates, you have all of the weekly hot lists, the undervalued hot lists, the intraday scanner, all of the trading, and you get to contact me. And basically, you get to sit here and pick your trades. Come in here and take a look. Okay, QID. Remember I talked to you guys about QID going long? There it is. Come back right over here. QID. Oh, wrong chart, but that's fine. QID and QQQ. And what we're looking at here is this breakdown in the QQQ is going to potentially lead to a rally in QID, which I think could be very, very powerful. Could see this move up 20, 30, 40% maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. That's what trading's all about. And also not letting your trades turn into complete losses. So the whole idea is protecting capital. I've just had a nice rally in my account. You come back over here and take a look. I've had a nice little bump because of the big move in metals. I booked a bunch of profit. Now I'm kind of repositioning. I'm positioning for the next 10, 15 days and giving myself a really nice opportunity, hopefully, for growth. Metals are a little lower right now, and I think that's going to be driving the stock markets downward. We have reached that support level, I think, in metals. This could be a good buy area. But again, we need to see this stalling, this breakdown mode end. So be aware. This is a pretty solid panic type of move in metals. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, I think I've probably gone on way too long, but again, I'm here to help. If you want to learn, you want to give it a shot, and you want to try to get these returns, like I said, if you can average 30, 40%, you can do really well. I'm telling you, you guys can do really, really well. Okay. So, here's the returns here. This is all the way to the end. This is basically 3 years. But, you can do very well if you can average 30% a year or every 20, 30 days. Of course, this little randomizer is not going to show me anything solid, but that one's pretty good. It takes essentially consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to learn what you're doing. But I want you to see, very rarely are we going completely broke. We might not get a whole lot of gains in the first year or two, but we are not going broke. Okay? That's the way it is. I want you to learn to trade, and trading is about survival and not going broke and catching some of these nice big moves. So, again, if you want my help, I'm here to try to help. Ment.com expert growth is very inexpensive. Like I said, I'm trying to help as many people as I can. Basically, you can get started 6 months for $169. Right here, 6-month trial, $169, or 60-day trial, $74.99, and learn. You can paper trade, you can play trade, you can learn to become a more aggressive trader. Follow my research, follow my examples, practice, learn, and then when you're ready, take the leap. And like I said, you can do this. I'm already averaging 30% a month. And like I told you, I had all kinds of medical problems and family issues from end of February until just last month, June. So, I did 30% not even trying. Really, you guys can do it probably with a little learning. 4, 5, 6 months of learning, I think you guys will be on your way. Okay, guys, talk to you later.